Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into the impending retail apocalypse. The American economy is like a teenager going through puberty, volatile, unpredictable, and prone to breakouts. We've seen it before. The rise of online shopping, changing consumer habits, and outdated stores have all contributed to a perfect storm of financial woes for some of the biggest names in retail. So buckle up as we take a deep dive into 15 major retailers teetering on the edge of collapse. Bed Bath & Beyond, a place where you could wander aimlessly for hours, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of towel options. Once a staple for home goods, Bed Bath & Beyond has been grappling with declining sales and a mountain of debt. Their attempts to stay relevant, like introducing more private label brands, have largely fallen flat. In recent years, we've witnessed the slow, agonizing closure of hundreds of Bed Bath & Beyond stores. Memes abound, lamenting the loss of a retail giant while simultaneously poking fun at their often overwhelming and chaotic shopping experience. Sears, once a titan of American retail, the OG of catalog shopping, has been on life support for, well, longer than some of you watching this have been alive. It's a slow, agonizing decline that's frankly painful to watch. Remember those massive Sears catalogs? They were practically a cultural touchstone. Now they're relics of a bygone era, much like Sears itself. Years of mismanagement, a failure to adapt to online shopping, and the crushing weight of their own legacy have brought Sears to its knees. The public reaction? A mix of nostalgia, apathy, and a healthy dose of "I told you so." JCPenney, the store that your grandma swears by, has been trying to find its footing in a rapidly changing retail environment for years. Despite their best efforts, JCPenney has been plagued by declining sales, store closures, and a general sense that they're just lost. The store closures have been particularly painful, leaving gaping holes in malls across America. Public reaction has been mixed. Some remain loyal, clinging to the nostalgia of affordable clothing and those giant Christmas catalogs. The question remains, can JCPenney reinvent itself for the modern shopper, or are they destined to become just another cautionary tale? Macy's, the department store that's as synonymous with America as apple pie and, well, crippling debt, is facing a grim reality. Their flagship store in New York City still draws in tourists, but beyond that, things are looking bleak. Online competition has hit Macy's hard, and their attempts to adapt have been, shall we say, less than magical. They've closed stores, cut jobs, and even resorted to selling off valuable real estate. But the bleeding continues. Macy's, once a symbol of American prosperity, is now a cautionary tale of the dangers of resting on your laurels. It's enough to make you want to drown your sorrows in a plate of questionable food court Chinese food. Kohl's, the land of discount khakis and aggressively cheerful signage, is facing its own uphill battle. Despite their attempts to appeal to bargain-hunting millennials with trendy collaborations and an ever-rotating carousel of sales, Kohl's is struggling to keep pace with the changing retail landscape. Store closures are on the horizon, and even their once-lauded loyalty program is struggling to attract new members. The public reaction? A shrug. Kohl's has always been the reliable, if somewhat unexciting, friend of the retail world. Nordstrom, the upscale department store known for its legendary customer service and even more legendary shoe selection, is facing a fashion emergency. It seems even designer handbags and personal shoppers can't save them from the relentless march of online shopping and changing consumer habits. Nordstrom has attempted to adapt, expanding their online presence and experimenting with smaller off-price store formats, but it's unclear whether these efforts will be enough to offset declining sales at their full-price locations. The public reaction? A mixture of surprise and resignation. Nordstrom, with its reputation for quality and customer service, seemed like a brand that could weather any storm. Dillard's, the department store chain that's essentially the embodiment of "if you know, you know," is facing an uncertain future. They've always marched to the beat of their own drum, with a focus on southern markets and a somewhat unpredictable merchandise mix. Dillard's has been closing stores and struggling to attract younger shoppers, who are more likely to be browsing Instagram for fashion inspiration than flipping through a Dillard's catalog. The public reaction? A collective "huh, they're still around"? Neiman Marcus, the luxury department store that's synonymous with extravagant spending and even more extravagant Christmas catalogs, is facing a harsh reality check. It seems even a $1.6 million price tag on a fantasy camping trip can't insulate them from the realities of a changing economy and shifting consumer preferences. Neiman Marcus has been hit hard by the decline of traditional luxury retail, as younger shoppers are increasingly opting for experiences and online retailers over high-priced goods. The public reaction? A mixture of schadenfreude and a sense that perhaps a $90,000 chicken coop is a bit excessive. Neiman Marcus's struggles are a reminder that even the most luxurious brands are not immune to the forces reshaping the retail landscape. Lord & Taylor, the venerable department store that's older than sliced bread, penicillin, and the state of Hawaii combined, is facing its own mortality. Once a symbol of elegance and sophistication, Lord & Taylor is now struggling to stay relevant in a world that's more interested in athleisure and fast fashion than tailored suits and cocktail dresses. Lord & Taylor has been plagued by declining sales, store closures, and a general sense that they're a bit, well, out of touch. The public reaction? A collective, oh dear. Lord & Taylor's struggles evoke a sense of nostalgia and a touch of sadness, like watching a grand old dame slowly fade away. Barnes & Noble, the last bastion of the bookstore, is facing a literary crisis. The rise of Amazon and e-readers has hit Barnes & Noble hard, and while they've tried to adapt with their own Nook devices and online store, it's been a case of too little, too late. Barnes & Noble has been closing stores and experimenting with smaller formats, but their future remains uncertain. They're clinging to the hope that people still crave the tactile experience of browsing physical books, but the reality is that convenience often trumps sentimentality. The public reaction? A collective groan. The thought of losing Barnes & Noble is enough to make any book lover weep into their latte. GameStop, the once mighty retailer of video games and gamer paraphernalia, is facing its own boss fight, and the odds aren't in its favor. The rise of digital downloads, online gaming platforms, and let's be honest, Amazon, has dealt a critical blow to GameStop's business model. GameStop has been closing stores, laying off employees, and desperately seeking a winning strategy, but so far, it's been a game of catch-up they can't seem to win. The public reaction? A mix of nostalgia and a sense of inevitability. Office Depot, the purveyor of all things office-related, is facing a workplace hazard irrelevance. The rise of remote work, digital documents, and the realization that most people don't actually need 12 different colors of sticky notes has hit Office Depot hard. Office Depot has been closing stores, merging with competitors, and generally trying to avoid the fate of their former rival, Staples. The public reaction? A collective shrug. Staples, the office supply giant that once promised to make our lives easier, is facing its own set of complications. The rise of online retailers, digital documents, and the realization that most people can probably survive with just 1 or 2 colors of highlighters has hit Staples hard. Staples has been closing stores, laying off employees, and generally trying to stay afloat in a sea of red ink. The public reaction? A mix of apathy and a tinge of sadness. Staples, once a ubiquitous presence in our lives, is fading into the background. Pier 1 Imports, the once exotic destination for wicker furniture, mosaic lamps, and that distinct aroma of incense and desperation, is facing a bleak future. The rise of online furniture retailers, changing tastes, and the realization that maybe, just maybe, we don't need our homes to look like they belong in a Marrakesh bazaar has hit Pier 1 hard. Pier 1 has been closing stores at an alarming rate, selling off inventory at fire sale prices, and generally trying to avoid the fate of a sinking ship. The public reaction? A mix of nostalgia and a sense that perhaps our homes are better off without that giant wooden giraffe sculpture. Pier 1's struggles are a reminder that even the most unique and eclectic retailers are not immune to the changing tides of consumer taste and the relentless march of online shopping. Forever 21, the fast fashion retailer that's been dressing teenagers and the young at heart for decades, is facing a midlife crisis. The rise of even faster fashion, online retailers, and a growing awareness of the environmental impact of disposable clothing has hit Forever 21 hard. Forever 21 has been closing stores, filing for bankruptcy, and generally trying to find a way to stay relevant in a world that's moving faster than ever. The public reaction? A mix of indifference and a sense that perhaps it's time to invest in clothes that last longer than a Snapchat story. So there you have it. 15 retailers teetering on the brink. A stark reminder that in the ever-evolving world of commerce, adaptation is not just a suggestion, it's a matter of survival. The retail landscape is littered with the bones of once mighty giants who failed to heed the warning signs. Stay informed and prepared. Retail is shifting rapidly. Are you ready for the change? Comment below which retailer surprised you the most and subscribe for more updates.